Hi, everyone. You caught me stuffing my face. Sorry about that. Um, if you're grossed out by watching people eat, I suggest you tell your therapist about it. I can't help you. Um, Welcome back to the Sunday Pub. It is Sunday again, and I had a really nice afternoon playing board games, or a particular board game, with two really good friends of mine. So I didn't have time to eat earlier. Excuse me. So I was just stuffing my face with some really good Korean fried chicken. I love it. One of my favorite things to eat. Um, it is good to see you all in the chat. And it is good to see Derry.
Hi.
When I started the stream, I was eating and I had a full mouth. So I'm so glad that I caught you. I'm so glad that I caught you about to pour something into your face.
Yes.
How you doing, Derry?
I am feeling very loved
Really?
because look at this beautiful, beautiful painted. Does everybody see the painted edges? Beautiful picture of these books.
It's kind of hard to see from. You might want to pick it up and bring it towards the camera.
I'm going to. Sorry. Oh. 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 Because my booktube book fairies and Matt have joined together to get me the beautiful Illumicrate editions of Farseer. They are stunning. Look at these beautiful edges. And altogether the edges make up Buckkeep.
I'm very glad. First of all, I'm very glad they made it to New Zealand. And second of all, I'm very glad that you love them.
They are exquisite. They really, really are.
We were a little, I think when we ordered it, like for those who didn't get it, Evie and I sent these to Derry because if anybody should have them, it's Derry. And when we ordered them, I don't think either of us was really paying attention that they weren't coming out for like 2 months.
Oh.
And Evie wrote me at some point and she was like, have you gotten any tracking email or anything for the books? And I was like, shit, no, I haven't. Because I'd totally forgotten that we did it. We just ordered it and then it was like out of my head. And then I wrote them and they were very polite, even though I'm an idiot. And they wrote back and said, well, actually, if you look on the page, it says we're not releasing them until September and we should be sending them soon. But when I did get the confirmation for shipping email, you got them like 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, that can't be true. That can't be right. Because you wrote us. And I was like, no, I looked at the shipping yesterday and it didn't sound like it was anywhere near New Zealand. But somehow it got there really quick. I think it was FedEx or something.
It was FedEx.
Yeah.
And it must have just caught the right combination of
I mean, FedEx is basically overnight if you drop it off at the right time. So it makes sense that it got there so quick.
They're stunning. The naked hardcovers, this is my favorite one. This is Royal Assassin and this is Verity's
chamber in the tower.
And it is just, it made me cry.
I know, I saw.
I was like, no, I'm going to cry.
Derry was sweet enough to record her live reaction and send it to me.
I was expecting an air fryer, so I took the box into the kitchen without even paying attention. And I've opened the box and gone, this is not an air fryer. Okay.
I'm very sorry we disappointed you and you didn't get the air fryer you were expecting.
That's okay. It did arrive the following day.
Yeah. We could have sent you an air fryer. I mean, if you'd known.
I'm quite happy with my air fryer.
Yeah, cool.
But this was not the air fryer.
No.
But I thought, I've opened it now, so I can't be bothered setting up all my recording stuff. So that's why I didn't film an unboxing as such.
Zach and Ack is asking, are they signed?
No, they're not.
Not signed. Okay.
But that's okay. Evie has me certainly well stocked on signed editions.
Yeah.
She's honestly she's my fairy booktube mother. Fairy godmother? Book fairy godmother. There you go. And yes,
Fairy book mother.
yes, that one.
Maybe.
But they're just so beautiful. I spent a good hour yesterday rearranging my shelves and then thinking, you're not going to be able to see these on camera. I want to be able to see these on camera. But yes.
Yeah, it's always with those special editions, it's always the question of like, do you put them with the page side edge out so you can see the pretty
really beautiful
pages,
spines.
or do you put the really pretty spines out, or do you put them face out, or whatever?
This is
Mr. Roro, welcome to the pub. I don't remember seeing you before, Mr. Roro. So welcome. This is your first time. They're
not
also
very consistent in the spinage, but
they're pretty.
The image of Buckkeep that is created on the pages is so beautiful.
Yeah, those are pretty.
So that is definitely going pages out.
Yeah.
Because they are so stunning.
Nice. Hello, Penny. Good to see you.
Ooh, and they're blue on the ends.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like I said, I couldn't think of anybody else who should have them more than you. So
yes.
Yeah.
You had a little cry, but I do feel very special, and thank you so much, because
it was a pleasure.
Yeah. So that's been an absolute joy. How has your week been?
My week has been mixed.
Oh, really?
Sarah Beth, yes. I also would like to do some sprints today, so we'll definitely do at least one. Cool. Just to be seriouser than normal for a moment. One of my very, very, very close friends who I've known for 25 years woke up a bit over a week ago at 6 a.m. with an aneurysm, and he didn't make it to the hospital, and he died. And he had a wife and 3 kids, and we had sort of all drifted out of contact. Like, they used to live in Berlin. I used to see them every week, and they moved to Hamburg, and we just sort of drifted out of contact. Hadn't talked for a few years, and now I can't talk to him anymore, which is crap.
Well, you can. He's just not likely to respond.
Unlikely, yes, exactly. So it was his funeral. I traveled to Hamburg for his funeral and a little wake, I guess, in a cafe afterwards. And that was actually really nice. I don't know if they even exist in America and Australia, the other countries where I've lived. But in Germany, you have what's called a Waldfriedhof, which is a forest cemetery.
Oh, wow.
And what they do is, I think you can only be interred there if you are cremated. But they take the urn, and the family or whoever picks out a tree, and then they bury your urn at the base of that tree.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was a really nice. I mean, I'm like so un-Christian, it's not funny. There was a Christian service in the chapel, which, was for his family. I mean, he was a Buddhist. His wife is a Buddhist. His kids are even Buddhists. But his parents are totally not Buddhists. So his parents and her parents, and for all of their friends who are not Buddhists, it was a very Christian ceremony, but okay. The pastor, I talked to him a bit. He was actually pretty cool. And then we went for a walk, kind of in the rain, in the drizzle, out into the forest. And we got to the tree, and there was a hole, and everybody put a handful of dirt in it and some rose petals. And while we were doing that, the sun came out, which was actually quite beautiful. And it was good to see. There are a lot of friends that I haven't been that close to that we had in common, and a lot of them were there. So it was good to sort of reconnect with his wife and his kids, and other friends that were there. And but
that's sad. It's a sad week.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I mean, it's a totally different thing. Like when my mother died, she had cancer, and she was not doing very great for a number of years. And it was clear, though, that like she's probably going to die around then,
Yeah. It's different to an unexpected.
Yeah, we had a lot of time to clear a lot of stuff up, and we actually became quite good friends, which we had never been before. And you know, when she died, I was kind of ready,
Yeah.
you know, and it's kind of horrifying that like Lars was healthier than me, ate better than me, was fitter than me, exercised a lot more than me, and he died like totally shockingly and unexpectedly. If you had asked me 2 weeks ago, who of your friends is going to be the first person to die, I'd say, oh, totally me. Like nobody would be surprised if I had a heart attack, you know?
Yeah.
But Lazi dying out of nowhere of an aneurysm was just like nobody could believe it. It's quite shocking. Yeah.
I believe that. I do.
Yeah.
I know that when I had my stroke, when they finally figured out I'd had one, where it is in my brain, they're like, oh, it means that you had this type of stroke.
Right.
And I looked it up, and it's fatal, something like 74% of the time. And I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Like that would have just come out of the blue for everybody.
Yeah.
So while it's shocking that it happens, having gone through that now myself, it's also not shocking that it happens, because you suddenly understand how quickly our bodies can just go, oh, it just doesn't work now.
I've kind of had enough. Yeah.
it's not working.
Yeah.
And just how quickly it can just flip the switch and go, no, we're done.
Yeah.
And it's kind of horrifying. And for a lazy round person like me, it's also kind of validating because I'm like, well, I couldn't have prevented it. And I'm still here now. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I don't smoke.
The main thing, it didn't really inspire me to change my health habits.
No.
Maybe even the opposite, because it's like one of the healthiest friends I have just died randomly. But what it did make me very conscious of is keeping people close.
Yes.
Because I'd let them drift away, kind of.
Well,
and
yeah.
I mean, they'd also let me drift away.
family
Like
though,
it wasn't like my me to blame or anything. It was just
No.
they moved away, and we had sort of more and more separate lives, and we just didn't see each other. And I could have called them many
You
times.
could have. There's a
And-
weird thing that happens though when you have kids, and that you just tend to surround yourself with other people who have kids.
No. The kids
No?
had nothing to do with it, because when we were like this
Okay.
for about 20 years of them having 3 kids and me watching those kids grow up. I mean, I'm also very good friends with their kids.
Okay.
And I was like, the third kid they had turned out to be Down syndrome girl. And I supported them a lot with that because, of course, Downies are a bit difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like part of their family, more or less. And I was around them and the kids all through the kids' life. The kids are 25, 23, and 17 now. And it was only the last 3 years when they moved away that we sort of lost touch. So it wasn't the family thing. They had always considered me, I guess, the weird uncle of the family who's single and childless. You know? So yeah, it wasn't that, but it was just distance. You know, we didn't see each other, and they didn't call and I didn't call, and so
Just a heads up that maybe don't let life get in the way too much.
Yeah, and just regardless of the conditions, actually make an effort, which isn't much of an effort, to just occasionally call people, even if you are a bit more distant and don't see them very often. I, like you, go through phases where I sort of hibernate, and I just don't want anything to do with anybody. Yeah, exactly. And when I do that long enough, then I feel kind of ashamed that I've ignored everybody.
Yes.
So I continue to ignore them.
Because then it feels weird. Sorry, I'm going to have to move.
It's like, I know I should have talked to you last week. You called me and I didn't call you back. Now I feel bad about it. Yeah. So I'm not going to.
And then you're like, and I only have negative things to say because I've been in the dumps. And
yeah, exactly.
That's not a fun conversation for anybody.
I am not good company at the moment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then like me, the only reason I'm as active on BookTube as I am, and I have been quite a bit in the last week, which is surprising. I have things to talk about.
Right.
Because people are reading books that are interesting and what they have to say is interesting to me. So it makes for conversation, and most of my real people aren't readers. So I literally have nothing to say.
Real people.
The people who are physically in my vicinity.
Meet space people, yeah.
Yeah. And I literally have nothing to say. They're like, oh, what have you been up to? Reading.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty much all I can say.
If you can't talk about books, then there's not that much to talk about. Yeah.
So it just feels like a bummer to get to ring people and just sort of, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete knows. Yeah, everyone knows. Bex
knows. Yeah, exactly. I would strongly recommend. I mean, this has been something I've been saying for a long time. My mother died 30 years ago, and all through my life, single mother, only child boy, of course that's difficult, and families just in general are difficult. And my mother was a little too much of a control freak, which is difficult, and I was a little too much of a freak, which is difficult. So we had a lot of difficult things, and then when she got sick, I dropped my entire life, moved to the other side of the world to be with her and take care of her for the last 2 or 3 years of her life. And I am so glad I did that, because we ended up with a really good relationship. We became quite good friends who could talk about anything. She dropped a lot of her attitude. I dropped a lot of my attitude, and we just got to know each other as people and liked each other a lot. And that made it so much easier when she died. Yeah. And I say to people all the time, especially with family, if it's mendable, if there are problems and it's mendable, you will not regret mending it. You will never regret mending it. You know, if it's mendable, if you can establish a good relationship, if you can keep those people close and enjoy each other, you will never regret it. Sometimes it's not mendable. I understand that. My family was not that bad in any way. But yeah, if you can, do what you can, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. It's, I think, and this has just made it clear to me. Okay. First of all, I have more friends than I think I do, you know, like,
I do.
I'd kind of forgotten about them.
Well,
and I had such a good time, even though it was a funeral. I had such a good time seeing his wife, seeing his kids, supporting his kids. Like I said to his son, who we've always been close. I taught him to sword fight and use a bow and arrow when he was like 6.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's what you get for having a weird uncle who actually knows how to sword fight and shoot a bow. So I said to his son, I was like, dude, like there are going to be points in your life probably soon where you're going to want to talk to an old man.
Yeah.
And your old man's not here, but I'm an old man. So like, here's my number. Call me anytime you want to. I'm super happy to talk to you about anything. I'm super happy to tell you embarrassing stories about your father. You know, like I loved him and remember him quite well. So let's talk, you know, whenever you want. So it was nice to be able to do that for him and the daughter as well. And to see his wife again, who is also, it wasn't one of those things where I'm like friends with part of the couple. It was all of us, you know,
the whole family.
Yeah, exactly. So
nice.
Yeah. Somehow everyone, first of all, everyone who said anything, thank you for your condolences. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to know. I was thinking about that. I wrote openly in my channel on the Fireside Discord what had happened. And a lot of people were extremely sweet. And I always think about, like, why are you writing something? Is this more of a private thing? Should you keep it more to yourself? Does it look like you're fishing for sympathy? Or I don't know, you know, all the thoughts that go through your head. And then I was like, no, because like a lot of the people on the Fireside Discord have really become actual genuine friends.
Exactly.
Why would I not tell them?
Say I'm in a weird space because this just happened and I've been kind of knocked for 6 and not quite sure how I feel today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if anybody's going to get it, it's these lovely people. I mean, right now I'm reading the chat and I'm thinking, oh my God, poor Bex, the shingles.
Yeah.
Suck
I was just going to say something about that. I'm really sorry to hear that, Bex. I don't know anything about shingles, but everything I've ever heard about it, I do have a picture of it being pretty uncomfortable.
It's a residual of the chickenpox virus. And it can just sit in your system forever, and you may never get anything else from it.
Right.
But in some adults, it will get triggered, and it is incredibly painful. And pain is kind of the biggest thing on it, and that you'll get a rash, but the pain is not relative to the rash. Like it's way more.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Speaking of rash, here's Arsemas.
Howdy, howdy.
How are ya?
Doing all right. How are you guys doing?
That was my very, very bad attempt at some sort of a bridge. I do that to everyone.
That's
sometimes
we'll
sometimes it ends up being positive, sometimes less positive, but it doesn't mean we're not happy to have you here. We've never actually met on screen before, so I'm just checking. Your actual name is Sam, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Same goes for me. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm actually in a conversation rather than in a chat.
Good to meet you guys.
When I first started the Sunday Pub, one of the main ideas of it was I wanted anybody to come on screen, including people who were totally not didn't have a channel or anything like that. And a few brave souls did it. Ida came on screen once. Jerome came on screen, I think, twice. People who don't have YouTube channels. But mostly it turned out that the open invitation was not actually something anyone was interested in, which I can understand.
We don't have channels for a reason.
Some people are not comfortable in front of a camera or talking to a mic to people on the screen or whatever. Yeah. So I kind of removed that. But when I see people pop up in the chat that I know do have channels, I think, well, they should also, why are they in the chat? They should come on the screen. So welcome, Sam.
Yeah, thank you. I've been watching both of you guys for years now, so it's like starstruck, right?
Sorry, I find that quite funny.
I don't know about Derry, but I am definitely not any kind of star. So no, absolutely not. I can't even keep my channel going. All I do on my channel is the pub. I don't make videos anymore. I want to get back to it eventually one day, but
I'll tell you, Matt, when I first started my channel, I was like that close from like stealing your format of going like, here are cool things that this book has, and just starting where you list like 5. I was like, that's so great. So I've like done my own thing now, which I'm glad I wasn't like just pirating your idea. But I love those reviews, man, that you would do where you're like, here's a list of like awesome things in this book, and then talking.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, if you're gonna watch like 30 seconds of a video by me, are you going to get anything out of it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just click onto a video, and if it doesn't grab them relatively quickly, then they're not that interested. And I thought, okay, if you watch 30 seconds and you leave, have you gotten anything?
Yeah.
So I always started with that what's it got list, because I thought either that'll make you curious enough, it's like, it's a hook, and then you might watch more, or you could leave and you have an overview, like you have some sort of feeling. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, generally, I think it really started when I did my first Malazan review, and I said, it's got dinosaurs with fucking swords for arms. And I thought, if that doesn't turn you on to Malazan, I can't help you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's not enough to make you go,
Yeah, exactly. You need to stop and think, maybe I should read this when you hear that. But yeah, exactly.
I'm always surprised when I go on my channel. I'm like, people who I'm not related to come to my channel and watch stuff and leave comments. It's really weird. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but it's weird.
Yep. I'm probably more freaked out when like people I am related to like watch it. I'm like, no, please don't. I'm embarrassed. Like,
I'm kind of selective about who I tell about it, like out of my real life,
My
Like
doctor knows I have a booktube channel.
People I work with definitely don't know, except one guy.
Mhm.
And I told him, I was like, you can imagine how weird it would be if like everybody in the office was watching all of my episodes or any of my episodes. So could you just please keep it to yourself? You can talk to me about it if you want, but don't talk to anyone else about it, please. Yeah, it's a weird thing because you become sort of a public figure, not a celebrity in any sense. I mean, we've all got smallish channels, but I think I've told this before on the pub, but I had a podcast back at the beginning of podcasting. A friend and I heard about podcasts and we were like, hey, we could do that. I mean, all you need is a microphone.
Yeah.
And he and I would sit down and just talk about whatever the hell we wanted to. It was a lot like the Sunday pub, but it was just him and me. And we made it as impossible for anyone to like it as we possibly could. We were pretty much all the time we were drunk.
Oh, dear.
We did alternating episodes, one in German, one in English. So almost everybody who might want to listen could only listen to half the episodes and enjoy it. And we still ended up with like 1,000 regular listeners.
That's funny.
One day I was on the street in Hamburg, the city where we lived, and a lot of what we talked about was Hamburg stuff because we were in Hamburg. I was on the street. I was late to work because I had to go to the doctor. And I came out of the doctor's. I was waiting for the light to change. And I got on the phone and I said, I was calling work. And I said to them, you know, can you tell so-and-so I'll be there for the meeting? I just got out of the doctor's. I'm just running a bit late. And the guy next to me, rando on the street, standing next to me, waiting for the light, said, are you Matt from Podcastra? And I was like, who the fuck are you? It freaked me the fuck out. Oh my God. It was the first time I'd ever been recognized, and only by my voice, because nobody had ever seen us. We didn't have any video or pictures of us, or it was just he recognized my voice. And then I was like, oh, okay, you're a fan. Thank you. I'm glad you like the podcast. I've got to go to work. Yeah. Yeah. It was really, really weird. Really, really weird.
Bex, I will totally be your foreign auntie who's eccentric and lives somewhere else. And Raph is still going music festival to music festival. And I actually spoke to him earlier in the week on Britain's channel because Britain is finally reading Discworld.
I didn't watch the video, but I saw a notification. Didn't Raph recently put out a video?
Yep, he had put a couple out this week. Obviously, the weekly Marxist Malcontent came out.
Yeah.
And he did another one as well yesterday. So, yeah, he's been really active lately.
Yeah.
And he's doing well.
He's also someone who goes up and down in his mood, as are we.
I think we all do, really, don't we?
I agree with you also. The fireside is full of sweethearts. Lots of really nice people on the far side.
They really, really are.
I am so happy. Like, I don't know if everybody knows the history of the fireside, but I am so happy it worked out the way it did. Joanna and I were on the Grimoire.
Yes.
Which was run by Theo and Alex, Tall Guy Reads, and Baron and RJ. Yes. The four of them.
None of whom are active anymore.
None of whom are really active anymore. They sort of came back a little bit and then not much. And, you know, it's on and off. But they were really nice guys. And Joanna and I were very active on the Grimoire, their Discord. But then it sort of died down and they made us co-hosts at some point. But then it was like the co-hosts are the only hosts because the four of them kind of died down. And we were like, I talked to Joanna and I was like, you know, maybe this feels weird. Maybe we should start something. And we were both friends with Josh. So we started with him. Yeah. And we wanted a not too big community of really nice people, you know, who want to talk about books, but also are kind of friends, you know?
Yeah.
And it hasn't exploded, which is exactly what we want.
Yeah.
Because when it gets really big, it gets really like
it becomes impersonal and hard.
And it becomes a lot of work also.
Yeah.
You know, you have to moderate it. I'm a moderator on another Discord, which has 45,000 people on it.
Yeah, no.
And it's a lot
And
of work.
that's a gaming Discord. So
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't tend to be much of a Discord guy. Like, I was a part of I don't know if you guys watch Two to Ramble, the
Yep.
booktubers, but I was one of their first patrons back when they were very like a much smaller channel, and
Okay.
was a patron for about 2 years. And like their book club, like there was like 20 of us, 40 of us, something like that, and it was great, and you kind of knew everybody. And by the time it got to like we're consistently getting like 10 new people a day, and I don't know who any of them are. And my feed is just lots of conversations. It just got overwhelming for me, and I don't know. I get overwhelmed by that pretty quickly. So I was like, I'm all right. I'll DM people I know. So.
Well, it's like having a conversation with your friends in the coffee shop, isn't it? And bumping into another friend in the coffee shop and going, oh, hi, yeah, I know you. And now we just have a slightly bigger group to talk to. Compared to going to a concert with a couple of friends, and there's a couple of friends over there, and you're trying to shout over the noise. There's too many people. Suddenly it's not as comfortable to have conversations anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean the on the gaming Discord where I'm a mod, I started out and it felt a bit overwhelming, but after a while I think part of the reason I got to be made a mod was I started mostly kind of socializing with people who were mods and with people who work at the development company that makes the game. And it was like that became my group. And most of what I was doing happened in non-public channels or in DMs or, whatever. And now as a mod, I'm skimming through trying to make sure no one's being an asshole. That's most of my interaction on there, other than talking to the other mods. Yeah. Yes, I'm glad to hear Raph is glad to see Raph is active.
But Sarah Beth's saying it, you end up going down the rabbit hole on Discord, and it takes
indeed.
too much. I got to a point where it was my depression and all my mental health things meant that going on Discord was so stressful because there was so many things, and I was like, well, this is contra to what I need this community to be doing for me, and it was doing for me for so long that I muted almost everything and then slowly unmuted just the Hob thread. Just the Terry Pratchett thread, the threads where I felt I could contribute and have conversations in. And I'm still muted on almost every channel and every server I'm in because I cannot keep up with that many conversations.
Working out how the interface on Discord works made Discord a lot more enjoyable. Like working out how to mute and how to get notifications only for the things I want and, all of that. I was like, that is much better. Hello, Dania. Dania is a real life friend. No, actually, he's a virtual friend from a different virtual kind of channel. He's a guy who is a friend of a guy I actually know in Meat Space, but we've only ever played video games together. But for like the last 10 years, regularly played video games together.
This is one of those really niche Venn diagrams with intersection of several circles, and it's a really tiny little intersection.
And it's basically just him. Yeah, exactly. Although the guy he knows that I know in real life also drops by sometimes.
That's cute.
In the pub. But
do you game much, Sam?
I suck. I'm so bad at video games. So it's sort of like I play for a few minutes, get mad, put it down, go read a book, something else like that. I was listening to a comedian this weekend, and he's like, you don't have books where you open it up, read 5 chapters, and it says, do you understand all the major themes and things that are going on in this book? Nope. All right, you don't get to read any farther. And he's like, that's what video games do. They punish you if you're not good enough. I'm like, yep, that's me.
And there is a test in video games. There will be a test later, and there's not in books. So
the game we're playing now actually has a pretty hilarious tutorial. So the game we're playing now is basically Starship Troopers. It's called Helldivers 2, and it's basically the movie Starship Troopers. And the tutorial is your basic training. And you go sort of from room to room, and each room teaches you a basic concept of like moving or fighting or whatever. And there's there's one particular room you go in, and there's just like this kiosk in front of you, and there's like this voiceover that says, "Okay, we're gonna simulate wounds. Push the button on the terminal," and you go up to the terminal, push a button, and a pencil-thick needle shoots out of it into your throat.
Okay.
Your character's like, and then a drawer opens, and there's a stim in it, which is like to heal yourself. Yeah. And you have to figure this out. This shocking thing has just happened, and you have to figure out. Like the first time, I bled out and died because I was like, "What am I meant to do? You just jabbed me in the throat. What's going on?" Yeah, and eventually I figured it out, got the stim, healed myself, and then you go on to the next room. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's a really, really cool game. We are loving it. Pete is loving it, which doesn't surprise me because Pete loves many things that should be loved. Yeah. Pete is
who was going on who the fuck wrote that later today.
Exactly.
That's so much fun.
I must have misunderstood Pete's message because he said because he's going on that stream, he'll have everything set up to join the pub, which I invited him to.
Yeah.
And now he's lurking in the chat. What an asshole.
I know, it's so rude. It's very unlike Pete.
I'm kidding, Pete. I'm kidding, Pete. When am I going back to Stellaris? I don't know. It might take a little while.
Not tomorrow with that tone.
No. I mean, I like Stellaris, but like if you're in the mood for Helldivers, Stellaris is basically the opposite of Helldivers. Right? So
a game I'd like.
Maybe. I mean, I do like Stellaris. Stellaris is slower, much slower than Helldivers, and it's sort of a tactical game in space where you explore and you can take over planets and build up industry on the planet, and you can find other alien cultures and go to war with them or make alliances with them or whatever. Mm-hmm. Helldivers is basically, here's a gun, go kill bugs. There are millions of them. And it's super chaotic and super fast, and you die a lot, and it's really good. It's really, really good.
I think part of it for me is I didn't game when I was younger, and so I never developed that ability to multitask in that way, where it's visual input and your fingers have to be responding to it without really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I just never built that connection. And now I'm too old to do it fast enough.
Yeah, it goes. I mean, I'm getting slower. I've been playing video games all my life, and there is definitely a learning how to do things with your hands unconsciously side to it. And I do believe that builds certain pathways, in your brain, and they're hard to build later. Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't play much when I was young either. Like learning games, we played like Oregon Trail, there was an empire building game, Age of Empires, that I played. But yeah, it's very much like, all right, which one's not crouch, so I can like kill this monster or whatever. So
yeah,
it just takes a little while. It just takes a little while to pick it up. Ursa asks a relevant question, as she always does. She's almost always the one that asks. She's reading Eyes of the Void by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Good book.
Nice.
Good idea. Adrian Tchaikovsky. I'm so happy. I gave my best friend for his birthday Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky. He's quite picky. My friend is quite picky about books. And he is famous for saying, no one has ever given me a book I loved. Like very often people think they understand what he'll like. They give him a book and he's just not that into it. And I just talked to him today and he's like, no, this book is really good. I was like, yeah.
Nice. That's a good feeling.
And Adrian Tchaikovsky lovers. Speaking of Adrian Tchaikovsky lovers, actually, I'm not sure. Do you love Adrian Tchaikovsky, Joanna?
I'm on the fence with Adrian Tchaikovsky right now because I loved Guns at the Dawn.
Right.
And then I read Made Things, and Made Things is down there. It's one of the most disappointing books I've read this year. It's a novella. But
I have not read Made Things, but I I know it's not one of the novellas that everyone says you should read.
Yeah, don't read
Ogres.
it.
Seriously, Joanna, Ogres is amazing.
Ogres is amazing. Elder Race isn't quite amazing, but it's pretty cool. But Ogres is amazing. Yeah.
And it's
Ogres
another novella. It's
is
really
the
good.
shit. Speaking of ogres,
Oh, that was a
Oh,
good
that's
hunch.
so rude.
speaking of Adrian Tchaikovsky fans,
What's really funny is on Alan's Discord, my name is Landlord Pete, and that was a reference to when I was reading Ogres.
Yeah.
welcome Joanna, welcome Pete.
Hello.
Good
I
to see you
can't
both.
stay terribly long, but
No,
I
that's
did want
fine.
to come for a little while.
That's fine. That's fine.
Neither can I. I have like 10 minutes, and then I'm going to hop over to who that wrote that.
Yeah.
We
That is so much fun.
this is how we find out who the real pubbers are and who
Oh,
are
I was
we.
on I was on Books and Brunch this morning on Josh's channel for
I
a
know.
couple of hours,
I know.
and so like I still have a lot of things to get done, but I wanted to stop in for a while and hang out with you all.
I was on
And
I was on Kathy's channel yesterday. We had her. She does them very slowly, but she does, like, for each book she does a discussion of the Malazan books.
Mhm.
And Josh and me and
Was that the one
Carlos.
with Tori?
Carlos.
and Tori. Yeah.
Carlos and Tori. Yeah, exactly.
And
We're all
maybe
there.
you should be on the panel, Joanna.
I did chime into the chat for a short while, and yeah, I love Memories of Ice. So
Yeah.
fantastic.
Although it was really interesting to see how mixed the opinions were of it.
What, really?
I mean,
I didn't get to stick
not
around,
mixed
but go
opinion,
ahead
not
and-
mixed opinions. Like nobody said Memories of Ice is a bad book. Nothing like that.
Uh-huh.
But
It's that
like
difference of what it
we
is. that
we talked
pulls
about
you.
like what's my favorite,
Mhm.
in the
The
series.
diversity of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Malazan, like no other series I've ever read, nobody agrees on what the best books in the series are.
Yeah.
You
That's a
know,
good
like,
thing. That's a
I,
good thing.
I,
in my
I,
opinion.
I think it's
Yeah.
super cool. Like I love it, but
I think that's like a strength, honestly. I was just talking about that on Josh's channel this morning. Like that was actually what got me interested in reading Ishiguro in the first place, is that of all the people I knew of who had read his books, everyone has a different ranking order. And to me, that just makes the conversation way more interesting.
Yeah.
But by the way, and since Samwise is here, I'm loving Sword of the Lictor. I even messaged him. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just like loving this book so much. I have a theory. Maybe I'll ask you about at some point, but oh my gosh, like this one though, on the other hand, when I say how much I love it, everybody's like, oh, that's their favorite. That's everybody's favorite in the 4 books. So I know Earth of the New Sun is also a favorite of yours, right? So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's a little bit of a disappointment. I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if like there were different favorites for Book of the New Sun, but yeah, I could see why it's everybody's favorite at the same time. It's so
you
compelling.
are, Joanna, welcome to text me anytime about it
Oh,
as well,
thank-
because I've read it 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Nice.
Did you see the discussions that Philip and I did?
I haven't watched those. I should probably go back and watch them. Yeah.
Yeah. And we did one for each book. And then at some point it was Jared Henderson, because I couldn't make it on one of them. But yeah, overall it was me and Philip and a friend of his who is doing a PhD in narratology or something. So it was a really good chat.
Mm.
I felt extremely outranked intellectually.
Oh yeah.
My gosh. There's so
I,
much to unpack.
I
Yeah.
was saying about the different rankings of books and series a long time ago now. I went on Mara's channel over on Books Like Woe, and she was doing a live tier ranking of Realm of the Elderlings. And there was, I can't think who else was there because it was a long time ago now. But basically we disagreed. All 3 of us disagreed on which book was where in this ranking. But by the time we talked out each book, I was like, okay, I understand why you rated that.
Yeah.
I think that happened
rated it.
on the stream with it was Ben, it was Grace, Derry. I don't remember if you were there or not. You were at least in the chat, if not on screen, because it was Overly Average Ben, Grace, me, Anitha, Evie.
I would have been in the chat.
Yeah,
Usual
there was a
suspects.
bunch of us. And yeah, usual suspects for that whole time period. And
Yeah.
we also had wildly different ratings.
Yeah.
It's great because you get topics to actually talk about and go, oh,
Mhm.
okay. I thought that was brilliant. What was it that you know.
Yeah.
And
Andrew's Wizardly Reads was on there too. I remember as well.
Yesterday, talking about Memories of Ice, we almost started getting in a fight about which book was the best. And then I was like, well, we're talking about like a 5-star book versus a 4.99 star book, you know, like we're not
So-
really disagreeing.
So
Yeah.
everyone has read it in that group because I know Tori hasn't finished the series. She's only finished 4 books, right?
Not everybody has finished everything. Kath recently finished.
Mhm.
Carlos, I think, was up to Reaper's Gale, I think. Tori,
I think
4
she's
books.
on
read-
House of Chains right now.
yeah, exactly. She's on House of Chains. I've read it 1.5 times. Yeah, so we were all kind of in different places. Josh also hasn't finished the series yet.
Ah, that's right.
So yeah, we weren't. It wasn't a we've all read everything and we're ranking through the 10,
Yeah.
but it was like, you know, so far in what I've read, my favorite was Midnight Tides or whatever, you know, and I was like, yeah, but Memories of Ice, like, really?
I
like-
love Midnight Tides though.
I loved
Oh.
Midnight Tides as well, and what I ended up saying was, I think Midnight Tides is, I don't know if I'd say better written, but it's tighter plot wise.
Hmm.
It hangs together as a whole, maybe more cohesively than Memories of Ice. And Memories of Ice is just like, there's just like epic shit exploding all over the
Yeah,
place all the
It's
time,
awesome.
which
Mhm.
I loved. You
I love
know?
that too.
yeah.
I love them so differently though, because like what
Yeah.
you said about Memories of Ice, it is like epic, weird, and is the Capustan, all that stuff is just it's wild and it's powerful. And it has
Yeah.
some like of the most in-depth like chiaroscuro moments. But then with Midnight Tides, I have to say that of the 10 books, no other book in the series, or no other fantasy book, I should say, has made me think more about our world and my
Yeah.
place in it than Midnight Tides.
Midnight Tides is the closest. I mean, the critique and commentary on our world is the most obvious in Midnight Tides.
Yeah. Though my
You know.
favorite is The Crippled God. So
Yeah, I'm withholding judgment of the Cripple God until I get all the way through again.
mhm.
Like I finished Reaper's Gale a couple of months ago, and I'm doing it in a stupid way, so it's going to take forever for me to finish the 10 books because I'm putting all 27 books together.
Oh, okay.
So I finished Reaper's Gale, which means the next one is Stone Wielder. And the next one after that is, according to Surov, who is the smartest Malazan fan I know, the next Esselmont. And then I go to Toll the Hounds. And then I go to another Esselmont. And then, you know, so it's going to take a while. I'm taking it easy,
What's your favorite?
relaxing.
Pete?
I am a Reaper's Gale enjoyer, and I think I'm like the only one who's that.
Kind of, yeah. Wow.
As
I
first favorites, maybe.
I really loved parts of the book that other people really hated, like the or I say hated, but didn't enjoy as much. So like the everything with the Marines in Reaper's Gale, I loved that sequence.
Me too.
I feel
Me
like
too.
people struggle with that one so much. At least like getting into it and like the jumping back and forth between them. And then I also think that T-Hole and Bug are at their peak in Reaper's Gale.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just finished up Gardens of the Moon like 2 days
Oh,
ago. So
For real.
yeah. So I guess that's
Fresh
by
thoughts.
default my favorite and least favorite.
What are your thoughts? What are your
So-
thoughts?
I in some ways I don't know what to think. I've been stewing on it because there's a lot of things. Like I've been talking with both Zach Shea and then Jake from Nerd Level Rising about it, and I've been like, okay, so like I didn't understand this. I was confused about this. I didn't get this and this, and they're like, oh yeah, we didn't either. No,
Yeah.
that's fine, but still 5 stars, and I'm like, okay. So like my thing is like in terms of aesthetics, like it was great. Really enjoyed it. Lots of like epic moments, lots of really cool stuff. I think the stuff when he goes into the politics of the Assassin's Guild and the inner city workings of Darujistan, I think he lost me a little bit and I never quite got back on board. So I think you know, everybody says like, oh, I want to reread, but I think if I were to reread it, maybe I'd track with some of that better. But everything with Lorne and with the Bridge Burners and with Whiskey Jack and then Animander Rake, obviously, like everybody talks about him. Like all of that stuff I thought was great. So it's like a solid 2/3 of the book I felt like I tracked with.
Yeah.
And maybe a third of the book, I'm like, what was that with acorns at the end? That lost me. So
the acorn will make more sense eventually. I would say if anybody says to you it's better on a reread, just slap them. Like I hate that advice, because you cannot tell somebody that you have to read 10 books twice for them to be good. And it's also false. Right?
Well,
I mean,
like,
Guns of the Moon will make more sense once you've read the whole 10, of course. But that's not something you say to someone who just started an over 3 million word epic, right? The thing I try to say is read the second book, right? Read the first and the second books. If at that point you don't want to continue, you have given it a really good try, because Guns of the Moon is a bit of a mess. It's a really cool mess. I mean, there's like insanely cool shit happening all over the place, but it's a bit loose. What's the second one? Dead House Gates is a lot tighter and a lot more focused, and it has less of a feeling of being all over the place. It feels more consistent. It feels like a very different book than Gardens of the Moon.
Yep. And
I think the two of them together are more representative of the 10 than just the first book is.
Well, and hearing that is helpful, because it's like for all the stuff that I enjoyed about Gardens of the Moon, I don't know that I would read 10 more books of that size that are exactly like that. And so hearing like, no, it gets a lot different. And
don't worry, man. Yeah. They get much bigger than Gardens of the Moon.
Different. Yeah.
They're much bigger than Gardens of the Moon.
Yeah.
There are 1,000-page books coming up. So don't worry about the size. They're not all that size.
I'll say this before I get off, but I would agree and disagree with you, Matt, on saying that it gets better on a reread is like bad advice. Like, yes, I would say that generally that is discouraging advice to somebody who is like struggling with Gardens of the Moon.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's also a genuine sentiment. And they're not saying that like it's good on a reread, but it's bad on a first read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just saying that there's so many more levels. There are so many more things that can open up on a reread if that gets to it. It's not that it's
that is
good.
I totally agree with you, but that is something I would say to someone who was on book 9 or 10.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, damn, wait until you reread it. It's even better.
Yeah, like I agree with you that saying that to someone who is just like you, Samwise, who just finished book 1 and doesn't understand stuff. Yeah, it's useless advice.
What do you mean I have to reread all of these for it to be good? Like, I just don't want to discourage anyone. I say to everybody, at least try Gardens of the Moon. And if you don't hate it, at least try Dead House Gates.
Yeah. I think this series measures people's capacities to be confused and be okay with it. And I think if you can be okay with being kind of confused and still emotionally connected to a significant part of the plot and enjoy that part of the plot, then you should absolutely continue.
Yeah.
But I mean, wouldn't you say the same thing about Book of the New Sun? There's a lot that I feel is confusing in these books, and that some things are
Book
coming
of the
together
New Sun
for me
is
now.
more confusing than Malazan by far.
Yeah, that's why I'm like shocked that that's like an issue at all for Sam.
Well, I never said I was smart enough to get Malazan, but no, I was. There's parts of it that I felt like I had a pretty good handle on. And there were some, like everybody talks about when you track with Erickson and there's like a reveal that you like followed him with. It's like, aha, I got that, It's like that felt really cool. So like the revelation at the end about, well, I won't say it, but there's a revelation about the character of Sari at the end of the book. I was like, oh, bingo, that's so cool. So stuff like that, I really enjoyed. And like with Book of the New Sun, like, I guess I'm kind of on a similar page with Matt as far as that goes, where I'd say, like, on a first read, like, I think it's perfectly entertaining on a first read, but like there's things, and I think I alluded to this when we talked about it on Talking Stories channel, like there's things that are said in chapter 2 where Severian wanders into this area of the Citadel and sees these weird things where it's like you just kind of read it and go on. But once you've read the whole series, you're like, oh, I know exactly what that is that he's looking at. Yeah. So, not like plot critical stuff, but yeah. So
Context.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll
that's
see
that's the requirement for me for a book or a series that I want to reread, or that I think is worth rereading for me, is that you can read it on so many different levels.
Yeah.
You know, and Book of the New Sun probably has more levels than anything I've ever read, because it's like you can just read it and focus on his religious symbolism, and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's deep, you know, and you can just focus on this weird sort of post science fiction fantasy world that he's got. And, you know, you can focus on the weirdness with women and the interaction between the genders. And, you know, there's all sorts of levels to read it on. And Malazan's the same way.
Yeah.
Like there are things. Okay.
I'm gonna run off real quick.
Good to see you, Pete. Thanks for coming.
I'll be back.
Have fun.
All right.
I'll watch you on the replay.
Yeah, it was it's been really interesting rereading, and I haven't finished the 10 in the second read, but I'm up to Reaper's Gale, or finished Reaper's Gale, and there are so many points where I'm like, I would swear that this wasn't in the book the first time I read it. You know, I swear that I don't remember this at all.
Bet that's going to happen to me.
But it wasn't just that I forgot
to
it.
hook your brain into, because
Exactly.
it had no context.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I understood
Gary,
something, and
because you're not given the context yet.
Yeah.
Because
I understood something because I had read all of
Well,
them, and then when I got to that again, it was like obvious.
Yeah.
And before, I was just like, I don't know what that is. You know,
It's something
whatever.
I say to people
going.
reading Hob, is that she isn't keeping secrets from you. There's no hidden surprises. There's no twists. Everything is on the page. You just have no context for a lot of it until the series progresses, and you just keep getting these reveals that make things that happened earlier make more sense.
Yeah.
So when I say to people, it will be better on a reread, I tend to phrase it more, it will be a different series on reread. Because when you understand what's happening and you've had all of these reveals, the things that in the first read you didn't know were noteworthy things are now noteworthy things that you're paying different attention to.
Yeah.
Incredible
So good.
writer. Gosh, we're talking about 3 masters of their craft right here.
Absolutely.
Wolf, Erickson, and Hobb. Just
To be able to layer
Amazing.
anything where you can say, all right, let's look at it through a lens. Whatever lens that is, whether it's, as Matt was saying, if it's thematic in terms of religion, or if it's about gender, or if it's about politics, whatever it is, the lens you're looking through, if that changes what the story is about, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Most people have probably done this, but I want to recommend to everybody to do it if you haven't, and if you have, do it again. AP Kennevan has a whole series of videos he made where he was just like close reading in detail, breaking down and analyzing the first page of a book. And
sometimes just the first paragraph.
He completely changed the way I think about the first book of Game of Thrones, or Song of Fire and Ice and Fire. He broke down the first page of that, and I was just like, there's no way that was always there.
Yeah.
There was so much richness and detail in the way words are used, the way sentences are constructed, the way things are foreshadowed, the way it creates a mood using certain words, and all of that. Oh, are we doing cat show?
But we've met Fitz before.
Yeah, that's true.
this is Khaleesi, by the way.
That's right.
Oh, hey,
Khaleesi is new. Fitz is tired.
She was napping. I
And not
picked her
me.
up. I forced her to get up.
I did the same thing with Fitz.
That's all right. She's still all cuddly.
You want to talk?
Khaleesi.
Khaleesi?
No, I want to dig my claws
so
into your
cute.
microphone.
Maybe that's the other bit of context I'd add in contrasting Wolf and Erickson, is that epic fantasy is a tricky genre for me. I have to work like, and it's because so many of my friends love it and it's their favorite thing, and maybe I just need to work harder than other people do, and it just comes more naturally to other people. But when I get introduced to 16 new continents, and here's the politics, and here's all these people, I have to work really, really hard to keep up. And with Wolf, there's less of that. It's almost more of a sword and sorcery tale than it is epic fantasy. And so like George Martin sort of does this like perfectly catered to make it easy for me, which is like in the first book, it's like Starks, Lannisters, and Targaryens. And then later on, it's like, oh, and stuff's going on in Dorne. And now here's Marine, and so handing it out. And even
That's
Baker
Hob too.
was easier for me because it's like, here's a bunch of stuff, but we're gonna sit with it for 3 books. You know, it's not like once you get it in Darkness That Comes Before, there's not a whole lot more that you need to learn in books 2 and 3.
Right.
So yeah.
And Erickson's typical flow is here's two Marines having an everyday conversation about nothing. And oh, by the way, a multiple hundreds of thousands of years old undead army.
Of course.
You know, and it's
As
just
one
like,
does.
wow, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
where are we? What's going on?
And that's
Yeah.
why I'm still in training. My brain still has to be pummeled a little bit more into acceptance on that scale of leaping around and doing stuff. Because
Yeah.
I agree. But you know what? Honestly, I guess it's not that I didn't pay attention to that stuff in Malazan, but I think that what I really gravitated towards were just like the deeper emotional conflicts and themes that were being explored. So I didn't really go out of my way to try to memorize things or even memorize the map or
Yeah.
I don't know. Like to me it was easier and more enjoyable when I was able to look at those bigger piece themes, like if that makes sense. And I did look at a lot of intimate details too, but not so much like I'm not a very I always say this and I don't know if it's totally true, but I always say I'm not the most plot driven reader because I don't really think in those terms as deeply.
Yeah.
But
no, I
I
need
will
there to
say
be
though,
emotional growth. I don't need plot
Yeah.
growth, but I need
But that-
emotional growth.
but that said, when it comes to like politics and world building, I do love the way Hob does it because
Yeah.
she gives it to you so deeply through the character perspective. Even when you're getting exposition, everything is like, it's just so emotionally felt.
Appropriate.
It's
Well, and
always
it's about what it means to the characters. It's never like here's an abstract explanation of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's always like this is changing, therefore that's going to be a problem for me or
No,
my family.
instead,
Or
we talked about it the other week where we're in a recently colonized area of land that suddenly has had slavery introduced, and we're not introduced to that politically. We're introduced to that by a family whose income is now suffering because they don't have slaves, and now they're not making any money because they're
keep
being
up.
undersold by people who do use them.
yeah.
So it's really personal. It's part of the story. Like you have a personal reason to be against this policy, completely separate from the fact that it's an absolutely awful thing to do to anybody. So it changes the perspective. You're not being told a political thing. You're being told a personal thing that happens to
which
also
is an
be
effect of a political thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later, as things develop, you're like, oh no, I knew that was happening because, you know.
Whenever I'm preaching the gospel of Erickson, I always try and say something like this. I know a lot of people who super get into all these details and all this rich history and the nations and the political intrigue and all of that sort of stuff. But I know a lot of people like Rogue who say, you know, they go with the flow.
Yep.
And it's a lot of fun. And
I do think it'll be soon that I will try Gardens of the Moon because I do have it. It is on my Kindle.
I will
fully intend to
I will so hold your hand all the way.
Yay!
You can call me and text me every chapter if you want, and I will talk you through
that.
it.
I can have my support, my crowd supporting net.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
here for you. And we have a wonderful Malazan section in our Fireside Discord.
Yeah,
wonderful section. So,
especially Surov. I have to give Surov props because he's a dude like I'm pretty serious Malazan nerd. He corrects me on stuff all the time. I'm like, you know, this happened and then so and so said that and he's like, well, it was a little like, you know, he has a memory from Malazan like I will never have
wow.
had. Yeah, he knows details. Like maybe he's looking it up really quickly. I don't know. But
it could be. I mean, if I
he actually bothers to look it up
off the top of my head, I have a pretty good idea where to look.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You're welcome there too, Sam, if you ever want to
absolutely
join the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and likewise, Sam. Like I love talking about Malazan. You want to text me about Gardens of the Moon thoughts or Dead Ass Gates thoughts when you get into it, please do. Anytime.
Because we all have our favorites. And
Yeah.
the things that we love, we're like, new people like, yay, you're reading the thing. Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
So it's nice knowing when you're new in something that there are people who feel that way about what you're reading. Really nice.
Unfortunately, with Malazan, a lot of the answers to people's questions when they're starting the series is Raffo.
Yeah.
Read and find out. But, you know,
because it means that I will find out if I keep going.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I find is really nice about the Malazan community is certainly the people that are on the far side. Everybody's really clear about, wait a sec, which book are you on?
Yeah.
I can't explain that to you yet, but next book you'll understand more. You know, that kind of thing. They're good about not spoiling anything.
Yeah, and I'm just going to make a pitch really quickly. Andy Smith did a fantastic overview video.
Although,
go ahead.
I kind of wanted to have a talk with him because he starts his entire summary. First of all, he says it's very, very low spoilers and it's a high level summary and all of that. And then he starts the whole description with something that you cannot completely comprehend until the 8th or 9th book. And I'm like, dude, how is that not a spoiler?
No, he said it was a spoiler.
That's a huge spoiler.
No, I thought he gave a spoiler warning though. I didn't think it was said light spoilers. I thought it was like spoiler. I didn't think it would have spoiled me.
Okay, maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but I mean it didn't spoil me, of course. But I was like, I would not show this video to someone reading Gardens of the Moon.
Well, I saw it before I started Gardens, the one he did recently, and I like DM'd him. I'm like, this must be one of the best like pitches I've heard for it, because it's not just saying what is Malazan about. It's like, well, it's about compassion, man. It's like, this is not helpful. It's like, it's big epic fantasy. It's the biggest you'll ever read. It's like, that's also not helpful. And so like breaking it down, explaining a little bit more about the conflicts that are going on. It's like, okay, like that is helpful, you know?
Yes.
So,
I loved it. I don't think it's so. I honestly don't think, even if I had never read Gardens, I just don't think that would have bothered me not knowing that. But different readers are different.
It probably wouldn't have bothered me either, because I'm not very. First of all, I've got a bad memory, so by the time I read the book that I've been spoiled on, I've probably forgotten the spoiler. And secondly, I just don't really care that much about spoilers. To me, reading a book is about the experience of reading the book, which is a lot more than one particular plot point.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more you could spoil. There's
I mean, there's a million things you could spoil that he didn't. But that is a really big thing that he explains in a way that you do not get through reading the books until the last quarter of the series. You know, and I was just like, man, I don't know if I would have wanted to know that when I started, but
I just want to respond here to something Asa said in the comment. Osa, people talk about the whole series being sad and tragic, and you're not in the right headspace now. And I've said this to a lot of people over the years: is that I'm a profoundly depressed person, and I love these stories because yes, lots of sad and quite brutal things happen to our characters. Yeah, but they get up every day and they keep going. And I find it oddly inspirational to read, because I read about this character and I'm like, okay, well, I can get out of bed. I don't have to face what you're facing, and you're still going.
If fucking Fitz can get out of bed every day, you can get out of bed every day. I can
get out of bed. So there's that to it. And there are also some moments of such profound beauty that you will sob. Yeah. And
oh my gosh, Derry, I'm going to go pick up Pulse Errand right now.
It's you're going into the best trilogy, in my opinion.
I'm so excited.
That middle trilogy is the absolute pinnacle for me.
Well, she's only read Farseer.
No, so Life Ship's just finished.
Are you kidding that? You're not subscribed to my channel, are you?
No. I thought she was talking to Osa.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
me. Also said
I've been talking about live ships like nonstop.
I know. I saw your live ship discussion. I mean, she also said she's only read Farseer.
Yeah,
I see. Even in live comment here, also
starting to go into live ships.
Even in live ships, Joanna can attest. There are moments that are so beautiful.
Yes,
in that where you're just like, this is unreal.
Yeah, beautiful. And I would underline
too, because so many things happen where characters do have to be able to move on and adapt and
Find a way. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would underline what Derry said as someone who also has had my struggles with depression. It's actually really nice to see characters who are more like that. You know, like a lot of characters, it's just like, especially in fantasy, they're heroes, you know, and that is hard to relate to as a normal person, especially a normal person who doesn't feel like getting up and doing things sometimes, you know, like that is kind of difficult. Whereas Fitz definitely isn't. He's nothing like a hero. He does some heroic things, but he's nothing like a hero, and he is struggling with stuff.
Yeah.
He has a hard time, and
even though you can see the people around him care and they're trying to help him, and he just cannot see it. So I find it inspirational. So,
it has a lot to say about difficult mental states, and a lot of it is inspirational, and it is tragic, and it is sad.
But
also.
So is life.
But so is life, and it's sad fiction. So you know, it's not as sad as life.
Plus, you get, you know, the best animal companion ever.
Hands down, the best animal companion anywhere. There's nobody.
Dragons and there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Have you read any Hob, Sam?
I was going to say, do I get booted if I admit that I've never read
Not
Robin
at
Hobb?
all. You get welcomed into the whole. When you start, I will hold your hand.
Oh, he disappeared. Oh, you booted him.
Did you boot him? I'm joking.
That's so rude.
No, I have to hold Sam's hand.
There's Robin Hobb, Scott Lynch. I'm trying to think of who some of the others were. I've got a few authors that are like rainy day. Like someday we're gonna get to those, because like when I started reading like epic fantasy and like in fantasy a lot more, I was like, I don't want to read just A Song of Ice and Fire and Malazan and Stormlight and like just go through all the big ones one after the other. I'm like, I also want to pull in like things that maybe I haven't been covered as much. Like, you know, I've been reading a lot of Tim Powers this year, and so trying to pull in, and so that's sort of like stretched these things out. So I will get to Robin Hobb, probably not this year. I'm hoping maybe next year, but it is also, I've heard nothing but good things. So
you and Jake from Nerd Level Rising got to get to it.
That's right. Yeah, he hasn't
it's
either.
Broken up.
Yeah.
And it would be so down his wheelhouse. I think he would love it.
And here's the thing: is like my favorite, like my personal preference, like favorite type of what would you call it? Point of view within a book is first person narration. Like especially when it's a character like recounting their story, like Book of the New Sun, like Name of the Wind, like I'm reading A Drowned Kingdom now. This has been
P.L. Stewart is in the chat, or at least he was earlier.
I saw him a couple of times. I was like, hey. So hearing that, like, you know, what is it? 3 of the trilogies are like that. It's like
3 of them are first person from the same person. And Joanna's just read the Farseer and Life Ships, the first 2 trilogies, and they're very separate. They have very different stories being told. And then the 3rd trilogy brings those stories together, and then you keep going. But yeah, it's all of the bits can be read after a break, which if you're in our book reading space, that's great, because you get to take a break and read something else. And
there's such an ease and flow to the way that Hobb writes that it's accessible, but it's deep. Like it does both at the same time. So it doesn't feel like work or effort to read her books, even though they're really long and they're really layered. But there's she does so much heavy lifting such a personal, emotional way. It's just,
you don't feel like you need to have studied to get into them.
Yeah.
They are sad and tragic books, but I would say I probably have never felt as emotionally connected to characters as in Robin Hobb's books, and for good and bad. Like there are good moments, and I'm overjoyed for and there are awesome villains, and just like all of the ups and downs, you get very emotionally invested.
Well, I mean, here we've got Thanos saying you get Boric and Patience. Boric and Patience are characters you only ever see from Fitz's perspective. You never get in their heads, not once, not ever.
Yeah.
So, and yet they are so incredibly well formed
Yes.
that everybody loves them.
I think she's one of the
Yeah.
best at first person narration and making other characters come alive through that first person perspective.
And they feel real. They feel
And
like
and second, I mean,
exist, they have lives.
Burrick and Patience are secondary characters as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And you still come out of it being like, Burrick and Patience are the awesomest characters ever, you know, and they're just secondary
You're
characters.
invested. You want good things for them, and you're like, no, it's so good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's
They're a
hard to
high bar,
find.
but that's not a bad thing.
It's hard to find things that can keep up with Hobb and Erickson. That's for sure. Yeah.
Asking as a noob, how similar is the character of Fitz to Jon Snow in A Song of Ice and Fire? Because I've heard them compared.
Not at all.
They're
What?
very
I
similar.
I mean,
Wow.
the main similarity is they are both bastards.
bastards.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really
Bastards
And
born
And they
of
have an animal
nobility.
companion.
I was gonna say they both
And they have an
wolves.
animal companion. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the thing. There's a lot of very similar tropes in A Song of Ice and Fire and in Realm of the Elderlings.
Yeah.
They treat the tropes very differently.
Yeah.
So you've got an unrecognized bastard in one, but you have a recognized bastard in the other.
Yeah.
You have one that's being hidden. There's one that's been acknowledged. You've
Mhm.
got very different politics happening behind that storyline because it directly influences the politics of the situation because he's been acknowledged. There's changes in the dynamics between the legal children of the king. So they deal with things very differently. And Hobbs' world is more magical in general.
And the connection between the person and their animal companion is completely different.
Very different.
Completely different.
Very, yeah.
In that it's a fundamental branch of magic in Hobbs' world that has a whole
This is sort of
political
right.
backstory.
Jon Snow is Prince Charming in exile. Fitz is I will survive and do my job. Yeah, kind of.
There is some
And-
truth to that. Yeah, I feel like
and
they're very different
I'm an idiot.
personalities. Mhm.
Fitz is kind of dumb.
Look,
I mean, he's very
I've been
young.
quoted many times. Fitz is an idiot.
Yes,
But he's our idiot.
but he's our
and we
idiot.
love him
Yes. Yeah.
because nobody goes through life making correct choices.
Yeah.
All of us do stupid things and make dorks of ourselves.
Yeah.
And Fitz does that because he's
Fitz
Well,
is
I could relate to Fitz, which makes me sad because I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of dumb then, but yeah.
No, but it's like
But they're
that.
honest
That is
mistakes.
why Fitz is relatable
Yeah.
because he's not perfect.
Mhm.
Right?
he works on the
he makes a
information he
lot
has
of
at the
really
time.
like. Luckily, our decisions that we make every day don't generally have the stakes that Fitz's decisions have.
Mm.
But he makes decisions where, in the moment, I'm like,
They feel right.
okay, when I was 17,
That's what I would have done.
was I that dumb? Yes, absolutely. When I was 25, was I that dumb? I was dumber. Okay, yes.
But also,
Totally.
when I was 25, did I look back on my 17-year-old self and think, oh, I should have done that differently?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you come back to Fitz at later points in the story, you get him reflecting on earlier points in the series,
Yeah.
going, I didn't have all the information, so I made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And that feels real because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And anyway,
yeah. It's crazy relatable. Yeah, he's a very realistic character in that sense.
Well, that's the other thing is I don't. It just commented here by Tharnell. I don't cry much when reading. Like I get emotionally
either.
involved, but like I don't cry. So when everyone's like, "Oh, I cried during Robin Hobb," I'm like, "Okay, I wonder if she'll be able to squeeze."
if you can
tears
get
out of
through
this
the
stone.
middle trilogy without crying, you are made of stone. Okay, so if
Good
you
to
read
know.
the first 6 books and you haven't cried, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you can get through that middle 3 books and not cry, seriously, you're broken.
I'm the same, Sam. I almost never cry about anything. And I never cried. I've read all of the Realm of the Elderlings except the last trilogy, and I didn't cry at any of it. I had moments where I was choked up enough that I just wanted to be left alone, for sure. You know, where I didn't want to see anybody and I didn't want to have to talk, but didn't outright cry. I wish I could. I wish many times that it was easier.
But it's that emotional reaction.
It's very
And,
emotional.
You
Yeah.
know, that's the thing. for most
I
people.
get totally choked up, and I'm like, you know, need a couple of deep breaths. But yeah.
That's
I
right.
didn't
And
cry
as you
with
say,
the first 6 books, but I think I got really close through a couple of scenes. So yeah.
and there's a couple of moments in the very last trilogy that just I remember Madison
and Hob.
She put a picture in her Discord after she finished the last book, and it was like 2 a.m. She just finished the last book, and her face is all puffy and red, and she's like, "I'm destroyed." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the overwhelming sense of everything." And
that said, I have had critiques. There are things to critique, at least from my perspective, as somebody who hasn't finished yet. So maybe I'll change my mind on a reread. But
and some of it you can't understand because, again, as we were saying about Malazan, if you don't have context, you can't understand it without context.
Yeah, and I have things to critique about Malazan. I think it's okay to have critiques. I just want to be fair in this conversation, since we're just like, yes, because we're all Hob fans and Erickson fans. But yeah, I just at the same time, I don't think anybody writes for me as naturally as Hob does when it comes to character perspectives. Like, there's something that she gets about the cycle of emotion and thought and relatability. There's something that she understands that I feel like few fantasy authors get. I don't know how to put it. Except to say that.
And she's saying that I put the character on like a cloak, and I just believe that I believe them.
I heard her say that
because this is who the character is, and if you just believe the things they believe, then it's easy to write them.
Like,
and I think that's where she wins.
My biggest compliment for Hobbs' writing is you could never have convinced me that anyone could write over 200 pages of 2 characters sitting at a table talking, doing nothing, and I would be enthralled. And she did that. Like, in the beginning of the 3rd trilogy.
That's where I started. Yeah.
Over 200 pages where I was like, I was enthralled, and then every 5 or 10 minutes I'd be like, wait a sec.
We still haven't done anything.
Are they still sitting at the table in that room? Yes, they are. Okay. And I'd read another, 20 pages, 30 pages. I'm like, they're still in that room. And it was totally engrossing. But I mean, these are characters she had already built up, right? You were invested in these characters before the book. You're coming back to them. But it was just like this ridiculously long thing where nothing happens. And that's
my favorite part of the entire series.
Exactly.
It's just the most magical.
That made me think a lot about how little it matters, at least to me, how little it matters what is actually happening in a book. So much matters on how it's written. Yeah. Right. And who the characters are, what you know, and how much you actually care about what's going on. Like, there's I DNF'd Greenbone Saga in the second book. I got halfway through the second book and I was like, it's just people talking. And Kyle rightly said to me, he said, Matt, you loved the first book of Tawnyman, didn't you? I was like, okay, so it's not just people talking is bad. I'll refine my critique a bit. I didn't care what they were talking about.
I didn't care at all after Jade City.
Like, I just didn't care. There wasn't anything I cared about in all of it. It felt like boring discussion of economics and bullshit. And I cared about every word in that 200 something pages of Hob and these 2 people sitting in a room. Right.
Because she invests you in the character. And if you care about them, then you don't care what they're doing. You just want to hang out with them. And that's what you get in the opening of Fool's Errand, is you get that time to spend with them again and remember why you love them and what have you been doing in the last however many years. And it's wonderful to just sort of slowly bring you back to this side of the world, and this is what's happened and this is what's happening, and these are the things I did when I was younger that I was an idiot about, and it's just so good.
Oh,
I just love it so very much.
Yeah.
I think it's the most intricate, right? That does actually work, because I can tell you
Kind of.
that you could use that sentence to anyone who's read Hob, and they'll all put a different character in that space.
Yeah.
Have you all watched that panel from WorldCon with George R. R. Martin and Hob? And
I've got it on my to watch later. It's like the
I
first thing
listened to it yesterday morning. It was so good. Fortunately, they cut out that controversial scene of that stupid idiot, but
Oh,
but
okay.
it's so worth listening to. It's so
Awesome.
interesting because ow, my cat's biting me. Stop being a kitty. Stop being a kitty. Okay. But yeah, it was really interesting though, because they all went into like the origins of fantasy and the publication industry, how that's changed over the last few decades, how it was different for Hob when she was breaking in and Martin when he was breaking in versus for people now, and about the viability of self-publishing these days. But it was such an interesting conversation. So highly recommend everybody check it out.
Yeah.
You don't have a kitty anymore. You have a full grown
Not even.
Mountain
cat.
lion.
My
Not-
kitty is
not
trying to bite
even.
me. Stop
She
it.
won't be full grown for another year.
Oh, really? She's
Yeah.
a beast. She's freaking huge.
She's a Mancoon.
Mancoon, dang.
She's a Mancoon.
Yeah, they're enormous.
She weighs like 14 pounds. She's this
She's
big.
a big girl.
Wow, she is
Yeah.
massive.
She's
She's
a little lion,
She is a lion. Goodness.
and she hates being handled like this. Go on.
Oh, she's beautiful
All right.
though.
I'll probably be taking off here, guys, but thanks for
I
having
need to
me
take
on.
off too.
Do you not like
Good to see
Maine
you in person,
Coon?
Sam. Lovely to see you again, Johanna.
I know we probably scared Sam away with our Hob
With
talk.
our
But thank you
cats
guys.
and our hot
We're
dogs.
all good. All right,
All
see ya.
right, have a good one.
Good to see you both.
Bye bye.
Well, hopefully Sam knows that you can just message me at any point and go, okay, I'm finally reading Hob.
Yes,
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm sure you will
anything.
find out about it one way or another. Why don't we do a sprint?
That's a good idea, because I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I need to
And,
finish my dinner and read. Oh, quickly, what are you reading?
Oh, I'm actually about to begin with Empire of the Vampire again, because I completely forgot that the third book comes out in the first week of November. So I need to reread the first two again.
I'm reading Prayers to Broken Stones by Dan Simmons, who wrote Hyperion. I read this after the first time I read Hyperion. It's a collection of short stories, or
Nice.
kind of novellas. Some of them are a bit longer, but they're all short stories. There's another one that's more novellas that are a bit longer, and there's only 5 of them. This one's got 10 or 11 or something stories in it. And it's got the most memorable short story I've ever read. So I am reading it again. The Death of the Centaur is this story. And it's really, really good and very, very emotional. Yeah.
We're here for emotional. All right. I will mute myself.
Exactly.
And we
Cool.
shall come back soonish.
We'll go until the hour. There you go. Everybody enjoy your reading. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. How was everybody's read?
Good. Who's reading what in the chat? Okay. Colton, apparently. What's Colton reading? Murakami.
That's right. Colton's been reading Kafka on the Shore. I commented on the Fireside Discord that I would have bet that Colton would like Murakami.
I would have gone with that too.
Murakami is very good. I had a Murakami phase where I read everything he had written at that point, which is about, I think, half of what is available now, but it was a while ago. But very good sort of semi-surreal stuff. He does get a little weird about women sometimes.
I have heard this.
Yeah,
from
and
many people.
I'm not sure how much of it is Japanese cultural difference and how much of it is he's just a bit weird about women or what. And I don't remember it that clearly myself.
Or a combination and varying ratios of the two.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Kafka on the Shore is pretty cool book. Yeah.
Good to hear it.
Very, very cool.
A short story and written some work on a paper. Oh, people have been productive, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. A Brief History of Seven Killings and the Devils. Cool. Yeah, Murakami's, I don't know if I would say sussy, but like I said, it's been a while since I read any of his weird books. And I don't really
he has
remember.
enough that there's a category. Is
yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah. Well, all of his books are weird.
Oh, how did you do, Pete? Did you, in fact, know who had written the thing?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like anime. There is a lot of anime that is also just sexually and gender relations and stuff are a little weird from our perspective. And I wonder how they seem to a typical Japanese person. Fitz?
Surely you just fed Fitz.
Fitz Fitz always has to yell at me after she's finished eating.
Okay, that's just random. Why?
I don't know if she's saying thank you or yum or more or what exactly she thinks she's saying.
Like a cuddle now.
But usually she just like really yells at me from the kitchen. And if I just say her name, then everything's fine. I just say Fitz and everything's fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And finally, yes, you do need to read Empire of the Damned because Empire of the Dawn comes out very soon. Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I never saw Cowboy Bebop the anime. I saw the live action thing they did last year before.
I never looked at that, but I did watch 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop.
Right.
And don't understand why people say that it's like Firefly, or rather that Firefly is like that, because I think
that I don't know.
A little bit of the music, but
I don't know how similar I would call it, but I think it's a Motley Crue, Spaceship Crew thing, so it's similar in that sense. Yeah, exactly.
But that's kind of all.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I don't really know much about it. I thought the live action thing was all right, but I wasn't like the Cowboy Bebop fans. I wasn't comparing it to the anime.
Yeah.
I just thought it was some all right sci-fi.
It's one of those things though, isn't it? It's the people who love the original thing that always hate the adaptation.
Yes, exactly.
They're like, this is not what you told us you were giving us.
So many people swore up and down and ranted and raved about how bad Wheel of Time, the TV show, was. And I was like,
The
it's
people
all
who
right.
read the books.
It wasn't great. Season 1 was kind of weak. Season 2, well, I mean, that to me fits the books because the first book is super weak. Season 2, I thought, got a lot better. Unfortunately, it got canceled because it wasn't, I guess, doing the numbers that they wanted it to.
But also,
But
streaming business formula. That's just what they do. And COVID and stuff.
one of the things I like, I was thinking about this yesterday. One of the things I like about Apple TV, they put out a lot of really good shows.
Yeah.
And they also seem to be willing to let a show go longer than 3 seasons.
Yes.
Because like Slow Horses is about to get season 5.
Yay.
Ted Lasso, I think, is getting season 4, or is it 5? I think it's 4. Foundation has been confirmed for a 4th season. And I mean, if you're into sci-fi, first of all, you should probably read the Foundation books by Isaac Asimov. The original trilogy, at least.
Because it's foundational. But
it is foundational. One of the things I always say to people who haven't read Asimov is you have to understand that Asimov wrote about ideas, right? He wasn't great at writing people.
no, and that's where we get that generalization from. Asimov was the name that went, okay, this that he writes is science fiction. So science fiction, therefore, is ideas and concept driven rather than character.
I mean, his thing was establishing an idea and then testing how to break it.
Yes.
Kind of, like he came up with the famous 3 laws of robotics. And then he wrote a 0th law much later. And all of his robot stories are about breaking the laws of robotics in some way.
Yeah, after establishing them.
Yeah. And Foundation is a super interesting idea. The TV show veers from the books quite a lot.
Okay.
But it has to. I totally understand why they did. But the basic idea of Foundation is a mathematician invents a branch of mathematics which is able, given a large enough population, it is able to predict future developments in society.
Okay.
Mathematically. Not on a personal level. It doesn't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow, but it knows what's going to happen to the empire in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Right. And he through this, he runs his programs and he says the empire's dying. The empire is going to be completely dead in 500 years or something. And that will be followed by a phase of barbarism.
Yep.
30,000 years long.
Oof. Yeah.
And I know how to make it 1,000 years long.
Okay.
Right. So it's gonna, like, nobody can stop the empire dying. Nobody can stop the age of barbarism and darkness happening, but I can shorten it to 1,000 years. And then stuff happens. And the show does that.
In a different way.
But yeah, and it does it pretty well. But one of the things that Foundation does is the books jump hundreds of years.
Yeah.
There are like gaps of like 200 years, 300, 500, 1,000 years, whatever, as you go along the story. And that doesn't work very well in television.
No, it doesn't.
So they adjusted some things which allow characters to be in the story, even though there are hundreds of year jumps and stuff. Like they created the idea. The idea is kind of in the books, but it's really vaguely dealt with.
Okay.
The idea of an emperor who decides that he will always be emperor. So he clones himself. And at any one time, there are 3 emperors. There's Brother Dawn, Brother Day, and Brother Dusk.
Okay.
And they are 3 ages.
Right.
Right. So
Okay.
Brother Dawn is like in his 20s.
Mhm.
He's raised and tutored by Brother Day, who is the actual acting emperor. And
Right.
Brother Dusk is the oldest one, who is an advisor.
Right.
And those clones in the show are played by the same 3 actors, but not every time you see them are they the same ones. Right? So when you start, the three emperors are, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but it's like the 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next season, they are the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd.
Got you. Okay.
They look the same because they're clones. They're played by the same actors because they're
Yes.
clones. But they are
Later
2 generations
iterations.
later. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it's pretty good sci-fi TV. It can be a little hard to follow sometimes, especially because of the time jumps and
I mean,
characters that appear and disappear. And
fantasy and science fiction lend themselves to adaptation often because you can kind of just go, the idea of this story is this, so we can tell that idea this way. The trouble is when there's a fan base that goes, no, that idea comes in this costume that you have to also recreate.
yeah, and it just like I've read Foundation twice and quite liked it, and I read a lot of Asimov's books in high school, all of the robot books and some other stuff. But when I heard they were making a Foundation series, I just automatically went, it's going to be really different than the books.
It has to,
because you can't do the books.
Yeah. And I think
one
that
to
has
one
to be
in
the
television.
mindset for all of us.
Yeah.
For every adaptation, we have to go, it will be different. And then maybe, I don't know, from there, maybe it becomes, what are they going to change the most cleverly? Because otherwise it's heartbreaking. I'm getting too old to have my heart broken so often, Matt. You're like, oh, I love this thing, and they did that to it.
Yeah, and I usually
trying to change my brain to look at it.
It doesn't always work, but I try and think, here's this thing I love. The thing I love, first of all, is still there.
Yeah.
It's not going to change no matter what anybody does on television.
The source material.
Second of all, there's a related thing which could be good, but for it to be good in its medium, it has to be different.
It doesn't. And
it can't do it one to one. It's just not possible.
No, it isn't.
So,
it's getting the heart of it right. It's the idea of it. What is the kernel, to quote AP?
Yeah.
What is the kernel of the story?
And being a Foundation fan, like book fan, first of all I said, okay, it's got to be different because Foundation would be the most unfilmable thing I've ever read if you tried to do it like straight out of the books. And also, I hope it's better than Foundation at characters, because Asimov sucked at writing people. Right? He really just wasn't good at writing characters. He's great with ideas.
This is not what this is about.
No. But if it's a TV show, it has to have good characters. It's not going to be good.
Oh, absolutely.
So I thought, it's either going to be quite different from Foundation and have crappy characters like Foundation, or it's going to be quite different from Foundation and maybe even have good characters that I give a damn about.
We don't talk about that, Donald. It doesn't exist.
And I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, Thornall said
no,
this. A lot of people. No. The previous comment. It's no longer about psychohistory. It's about a black girl from Waterworld who can see the future, which is just not true, Thornall. It's still about psychohistory. The people who could see the future are in the books, and it is explicitly stated in the books. A lot of people were really pissed off because there are quite a few characters of color, actors of color in the show. And a lot of people were pissed off about that. And it actually specifically says in the books that in the future, everyone in the world has interbred so much and moved out to so many different planets that everyone is brown.
Yeah.
There is no white anymore. Everyone is at least kind of brownish.
Yeah.
And then there are some darker brownish and some lighter brownish, but like basically everyone's melded together, mixed together so much that everybody is just brown. Which I also thought for the time he was writing in was very progressive and also really sensible. Like, of course.
Yeah, it's logical.
Yeah.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
Also, no, it doesn't exist. It's no.
No,
Just
also there
no.
is not a City Watch TV show, apparently.
No.
I don't know about
I have never hate quit anything so fast.
Yeah.
That didn't just, no, we're not even going to talk about it.
Rogue, I would say for a lot of people, maybe don't read Foundation, because Foundation is kind of hard to read. It's kind of dry. There are
I'm a bit of a popcorn sci-fi fan.
It's
Like,
not
I
a popcorn
really like-
sci-fi. It's definitely not popcorn sci-fi.
I really like popcorn sci-fi. I love Jurassic Park. I love The Martian.
Yeah.
I really like Sphere. You know, that sort of. It's popcorn. It's popcorn sci-fi. It's,
If you want, I wouldn't say popcorn in a derogatory sense, but popcorn as in adventure and exciting shit happening all the time. Read The Final Architecture by Adrian Tchaikovsky. It's awesome. It's so good. If you want kind of intellectual and somewhat dry, then The Foundation is great for that. That's what The Foundation is. It's much more about the ideas of empire, the ideas of long-term history, the ideas of science and maths and what it could do. It's really good for those kinds of things, but it's not awesome for anything else. Sorry, Pete.
Whoa.
There's a sound that Restream makes when there's a person trying to join.
Yeah.
Or when a new person goes into the backstage area. And I never heard that sound.
I think you probably didn't have it on when I hopped on during the sprint.
No, I don't have my headphones on when you jump on during the sprint.
That's
so,
probably what happened.
Okay, yeah, you should have maybe said something earlier.
It's true. I probably should have.
Okay. I have
Sitting
to
there
ask
for
Ollie-
20 minutes.
Well, there's a quick lull in the conversation. Evie is now the second person to mention this game, and it was touched on briefly last week. What is Hollow Knight, this game?
So,
So,
do you know what a Metroidvania is?
no,
That's fine.
I do, but I know that Derry doesn't.
That is correct.
Hollow Knight is a side-scrolling video game, right? So it's 2D, and you go left, you go right, you go up, you down, you don't go like forward and backwards. It's like 2D animation, really great animation. It is I would say it's depressing because of kind of the themes of it that I've seen so far, but it is a really well-made indie action game, and you play as this tiny little guy who is able to like steal souls from things that you're slashing or whatever or hitting. I'm not very far in the game. I'm at like the second big boss, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of I would also say that a lot of people would consider some of it pretty hard. Like,
It is hard.
yeah.
Not people consider. It is objectively hard.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
Mario, but complicated. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you don't start out with a map and you have to find the guy that gives you the map, and then you have to find the quill and buy the quill that allows you to change the map and show where you are on the map.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the beginning, you've got the shittiest everything, sword and all of that, and you have to continually buy or find better ones and
It's
all of that.
Hollow Knight herself.
It's really hard. Yeah, as Passenger says, it's really hard. Yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
I play. It's funny now. Like, everyone's playing it now, who didn't play it before, because the sequel to it is coming out.
Yeah.
It just came out, and I played it quite a while ago, and I was already late because it's been out for 4 years or 5 years or something. It's not a new game, and I played it a while ago, and I was like, everyone keeps talking about Hollow Knight. Okay, I'll finally play it. But I don't have that much patience for hard games. I think I got about halfway or 3/4 of the way through it, and got like so hung up on a boss. I was just like, okay, fuck this. But it is really good.
I bought another copy because I wanted to support the developers and actually play it. So I bought one because I think I had it on Switch, but I just couldn't find my dock for my Switch. So I grabbed it for my PlayStation. They grabbed Silksong as well, the new one.
Right.
And started playing it and had a lot of fun. And then I was playing it while I was waiting for Borderlands to come out. So that's what I'm on now.
Yeah. Okay. Are you with us, Evie?
Yes. I was trying to figure out how to like switch my screen, but it doesn't automatically do that. Apparently.
Doesn't seem to want to do it. Yeah.
No.
That's fine. Vertical view is also lovely.
I am getting some all natural vitamin
Heck
D.
yeah.
Well, in
I
this
was going to say, you're not getting much under that umbrella.
Listen, I stand outside for like 30 seconds and I get a tan and or sunburn. So
Yeah, I'm the same.
I'm quarter Puerto Rican, so I get nice and brown.
Lucky.
Yeah. Or I get
Nice
a very light sunburn, and then the next day I'm nice and brown.
No, I do that
There you
wonderful
go.
thing of
Okay. Oh,
burning
Jesus.
like a crisp and then peeling and being white again.
Yeah.
So I've learned to skip the painful red step and just stay inside. So
Passenger, who is my video game buddy, is playing Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Has anyone ever played Deep Rock Galactic?
I've wanted to, but
I have no
It
idea
is
what that is.
so cool. It's such a fun game. It's a squad game. Like, you play it with friends. You can play it solo, but it's really a squad game. And you get 4 people together, and you're playing dwarves, space dwarves, who work for a company, a mining company, and you get shot down to a planet, and you have to do various mining objectives. But there are monsters, aliens, bugs, whatever, that attack you, and it's just like crazy chaotic. So much fun, and it's
gamified mayhem.
Yeah, and it's got a really good sense of humor. And Passenger and I played quite a lot of Deep Rock Galactic, and now there's Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, and I'm not quite sure what that is. Haven't played it.
Max is enjoying the
more
sun.
survivorship something elements.
Yeah.
Survival game elements? ?
It's more actually I think it's more like a roguelike. More like
the original
Hades.
game is already kind of like a roguelike.
What? Deep Rock Galactic?
Yeah.
No, not at all. It's first person. And you're running around.
What have I played?
Shooting things? I don't know.
I might have tried some other game that I thought was Deep Rock Galactic with dwarves.
Okay.
It wasn't.
No. This one is more like a roguelike. Like, it's sort of a isometric perspective from above, and your characters are really small, running around on a map, shooting at things like crazy. And I don't know. I haven't played anything. But Deep Rock Galactic is awesome. It's worked its way into my vocabulary. Like, when you're digging and you find a chunk of gold, you can anything in the world, you can tag it so that other players know where you are, what you're looking for.
Uh-huh.
And normally when you tag something, they see a little bubble that says what it is. But when you tag gold, there's a little bubble that says it's gold, but your character says, "We're rich." And there's a tradition in the game that when somebody finds gold, they tag it, and then everybody runs to them, and everybody stands around this piece of gold going, "We're rich, we're rich, we're rich, we're rich, we're rich, we're rich, we're rich." So you get these little, like, total chaos fighting bugs and things. And then somebody tags a piece of gold, and everyone's like, "Oh, I gotta go, there's gold."
Yeah.
We're rich, we're rich, we're rich, we're rich. Yeah, it's a very funny game.
That does sound fun.
I just remembered to click over to the comments portion tab thing. K2, I'm only playing Hollow Knight. I've never played Silksong. I just started playing maybe the day after Silksong came out. And I've already put almost 72 hours of playtime into it. So
Wow.
That's impressive.
I think I'm like a week into Borderlands, so I'm like 40 hours. I'm 40 hours into Borderlands, and it's been out for like a week.
Nice.
I don't even
And
know
you're
how
still
many
gonna do
hundreds
it,
of hours
stuff.
I'd put into Helldivers 2. Daniel and I played Helldivers 2 like every day for a couple of weeks when it came out for Xbox. It's still actually awesome. It's really good.
I need to get back to it because I played a lot of it when it first came out, and I had a group of friends that I played with then. And then I kind of dropped it for a while.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of new content since you played.
Yeah, because I played a
'cause they
little
put
bit
out
when
stuff.
the Illuminate came in.
Okay.
I popped back in there, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun,"
Right.
but I didn't like do it as much. And then,
If you want to play with a group sometime, let me know.
I'll hit you up
Because I got a couple of friends and we play on and off pretty regular. Hollow Knight, yeah, no, I kind of wish Hollow Knight was one of those games I got really into for a short period of time, like Darkest Dungeon. I played Darkest Dungeon like a maniac for like a week, and then I got sick of it. I overdid it. Yeah. So what?
Did you guys already talk about what you
I was
were
just going
reading?
to ask. We did. Derry and I did, but you weren't here. What are you reading?
I am reading the Aeneid
Let me
by Virgil, which I
flip
think
you. I'll do it. Whoop.
Aha.
Thank you.
It's a totally different book.
This is the newer translation by Scott McGill and Susanna Wright that came out
Okay.
last month.
Is it good?
Yeah, last month.
Oh.
It's basically the original fan fiction. So yeah, it's great.
Okay.
The original fan fiction.
And they left.
I am in the part where, and I don't think you can spoil a 2,000-year-old piece of literature. I'm in the part where literally they're fist fighting people.
Man,
There's
you just
a-
ruined
and I
the Aeneid
quote,
for me.
They have fists.
They had fists back then?
I
I
know,
thought
right?
fists were invented much later.
Yeah.
So there are these like games that are happening because there's a funeral, and apparently that was a thing to have games to basically the
Celebration.
ye olden days, ancient times. Yeah,
It's a bit
exactly.
older days than ye olden days.
Yeah, the OG
Ye
olden
ancient
days.
yeah.
And so everyone is like, oh yeah, if you get first place, you're gonna get like this reward. If you get second place, you get this reward. And Aeneas is like saying, literally says, each person will receive and take away a gift, essentially. And I'm like, so basically they're all getting participation trophies.
I was thinking more, so
Even
this
if
is
you
how they're
don't win.
splitting up all the belongings. If it's at a funeral, this is how they figure out who gets what.
Consolation trophies existed in ancient Greece.
It's true. And they weren't
Crazy.
sissies, were they? Question mark.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Greek / Rome.
You know,
Because it's
I
all
bet
about,
you-
the founding of
that's
Rome.
why the moral caliber of Rome went down up until the time of the Republic, was they got participation trophies all the way from the founding.
Exactly.
Yeah, they lost it. Just everything lost meaning.
Yeah. The Greeks were the real men, but the Romans were pussies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Somewhere Alan
I
is
can feel
yelling.
it.
Yeah. In the back of my head, he's yelling.
It's waves of rage happening.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
needed, Augustus to come in and shape them up with laws, because we know the morality laws worked so well.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said Augustus. Congratulations, Kyle, if you're out there watching.
Yeah.
That they're going to have a baby and it's going to be called Augustus.
Oh, cool. I did not know that yet. Nice.
I'm excited for him and his wife.
What are you reading, Pete?
I'm reading Saint's Blood by Sebastian de Castell.
Uh-huh.
I am now halfway through it.
That's the third
Yes,
one,
this
right?
is book 3.
Okay.
The protagonist is slowly but surely pulling his head out of his rear end.
Nice.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I mean, Robin Hobb wrote 9 books about a protagonist that never really fully pulls his head out, so
True.
yeah, not that bad. Max! Hey, Max!
Max,
He's
you are
deaf.
true.
He's a
Maxie?
good boy.
Yeah. He's a good boy.
He's like, we're outside.
He's
We never
confused.
go
He's like,
outside. Just
I
to
don't
eat
remember
now.
what outside is.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So it's finally the perfect time where, but the mosquitoes aren't out, but the deck it's not hot enough to really scorch the deck, so he can stay out here comfortably
burning
without
his feet,
burning
yeah.
his paws.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I wish
the last 2
Yeah,
weeks.
Fitz is kind of afraid of outdoors.
it's been storming here for days. We've had wild weather warnings, like orange and red alerts, up and down the coast for days. And
Max.
it is unpleasant outside.
Maxie
currently.
Max.
Mix.
Hey, handsome.
He's an old boy.
He's a very old
He
boy.
is much
Look at that
Yeah.
gray on him. He's a distinguished
He makes me feel
gentleman.
younger. I'm not quite as gray as Max.
These are
My
good
my
boys.
paws at least are not gray. Yeah, I'm reading this and the short stories by Dan Simmons. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And the one I'm reading is odd. Something just happened in it. I'm not
Is this
sure
written-
what exactly happened.
Was it written pre-Hyperion,
I-
post-Hyperion?
Actually, I was meaning to check because there is quite a lot of the
Parallels?
slang of Hyperion in the story I'm reading, the specific one story I'm reading, and it was written in copyright 1990. So I think it's post Hyperion, but let me
Right after.
check. Yeah, I think it's
I think Hyperion was 89.
yeah, I remember it being 80 something. So yeah, it's may have been overlapped.
89.
Yeah, overlap writing with Hyperion, but it's right around that time. And there's basically the setup for the short story is there's a school teacher, high school teacher, or actually younger than high school. And he's been sent, I think he's from New York or somewhere sort of sophisticated, and he gets sent into the middle of nowhere in Missouri to teach at a school, and it's his first class. And the story goes back and forth between what's going on with him and him writing letters home and stuff like that, and him telling his class of school children a story. And it's a story about three animals that are sort of adventuring together, and they're trying to get to the Firecaster
So it's
in
homeward bound.
in their world, sort of, but set in a
what I
Hyperion world.
thought.
And yeah, it goes on from there. And it just keeps going back and forth between like happenings in his day, or things he's writing in letters back home, and the story that he's telling the children.
Mhm.
And there's some funny stuff going on with him and some of the children. Not funny, like problematic funny, but
Okay.
like it also feels like it was set in the 50s or 60s, where like
Okay.
a teacher-child relationship would have been a bit more relaxed and less controlled than it is now. And he's quite close to some of the children. Like without their parents, he takes them out on picnics. Like nothing weird happens. It's just a picnic. It's totally innocent. But there is something kind of weird that happens, but it was written in such a way I'm like, what actually happened? Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, off the top of my head, Sarah Beth, I don't know that they name the town, or if they do, I don't remember the name. Sorry. Thornall Farcaster, which is a gate that teleports you to another planet in Hyperion.
Stargate rip. Well, not really.
No, not at all, really.
Yeah, I'm remembering, I don't know, was it The Poet's Tale where the guy had like a house on like 6 different planets
Yes.
or something? That was so cool.
Yes. He's so wealthy that he has a house built on like 12 different planets, and his toilet is on a raft on a water planet where there's nothing but water. So it's like you're sitting on the toilet and it's just water in every direction and a gate behind you. Yeah.
So he's just got a whole planet to crap in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a hole in the world that leads to a planet that he can crap to, but like he doesn't own the planet. He just owns like this little bit of water or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Farcaster, which is
the thing that's expensive are the Farcasters themselves, like building these teleportation devices. And it's just like this ridiculous waste of wealth because his entire house, every single door in his house is a Farcaster. So every room is on a different planet. You know,
Right.
But it's a gorgeous idea. I just love Hyperion.
Ostentatious
So many things
show
in
of
it.
wealth.
that is an understatement, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary,
Totally
what are you
crazy.
reading?
Me, I have just picked up Empire of the Vampire again because the third book is out in the first week of November.
Nice.
So, yeah. And my evening audio is the end of This Inevitable Ruin, and then I'm going to go into Feet of Clay. Because,
Nice.
light stuff.
Still need to
of an
get
evening.
past. Is it Thud that's direct? Thud isn't after Night Watch. It's
Yeah, it's Thud.
it's
Yeah.
Thud.
And then Thud and then Snuff. Or do I have those mixed up, Derry?
I don't remember.
I'm just looking. It's Thud and then Snuff.
I need to get to Thud. Possibly.
Snuff is
pull Evie
last.
back along.
Yeah, Snuff is last, and it's Thud, and something I can't read from here, and Fifth Element, and so on. They're on my shelf behind the monitor.
Fifth Elephant, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever the fourth one was, because the Fifth Elephant is conveniently the fifth one.
Yeah,
Fourth one is
Jingo.
Jingo.
Django. Yeah,
Jingo.
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 Jingo
Night
Night
Watch.
is
Watch is just so good though.
October 1st, Tharnol.
We are starting Lathe of Heaven in October. I think October 1st. But I mean, it's a book of a quarter, which means you have 3 months to read it. You can start whenever you
Ooh.
want.
That's
But-
nice. I might
yeah.
actually like join you for that, considering Le Guin, even though I haven't read Left Hand in Darkness yet.
Yeah.
And that-
This is the Fireside Book Club. For anyone who's not familiar with the Fireside Discord, we have a Fireside Book Club, and it's me and Evie and Joanna and Josh. And we each nominate a book, and we read one book for the book club per quarter. So it's 3
And
months.
Joanna clearly is winning.
Joanna is
Yeah,
winning winning
basic-
everything. Yeah.
Basically, we don't need to do a poll for next quarter. We're just gonna have Joanna pick the book.
Yeah. we're just gonna put little pictures of ourselves.
See if
And
it
then
changes.
just get to real honesty.
That's actually not a bad idea.
It's not
Or
bad.
Do you
put
want to
pictures
vote
of
for
yourself when it's
Evie?
not next to like? So if Joanna picks a book, put Matt's face next to it. And then
Well,
put
we
Joanna's
we
face next
we
to
make
Josh's
it's a
face.
rule that we nominate amongst ourselves the books, but when
And
I
then-
do the post for the poll, I
and
don't
then
tell
yes.
anybody who nominated which book.
Mm.
Like, so it should be on the merits of the book or how interested you are to read it or
Yeah.
whatever. But so far, we've done it twice, and Joanna won. So
She just picks the most interesting books, obviously.
maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Apparently, if Mitch is to be a barometer, I think a lot of people thought I chose the Le Guin book.
Okay.
I never would have picked that. I never would have thought that you had picked a Le
Wait.
Guin book.
I
Is
mean,
that
Le Guin,
sarcasm, Matt?
sure.
I can't tell.
No, I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't associate you with Le Guin that much, but
You need to try harder, Evie.
yeah,
I know I need to talk about Le Guin more. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
True.
This year has been a year of a lot of things, and one of them has been Le Guin. I've read
Right.
Earthsea, The Dispossessed, The Word for World is Forest. Word for World is Forest is one of my top books of the year. It's next
It was-
to Barehead in its
I read it.
infuriatingness.
I read it, I think, towards the end of last year, and it was, yeah, very,
Interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, Le Guin's science fiction anyway. I think is always written from an angry place. You know, I wouldn't say Earthsea so much. It's more of a thoughtful place. But I think a lot of her science fiction comes from her anger and her activism.
Tehanu is definitely an angry book.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call Dispossessed necessarily an angry book. I think there are parts of it that are angry, but I think the core of it is much more optimistic and hopeful than some of the other stuff that I've read by her that's been angry.
Yeah. Word for World is Forest is an angry book.
For sure.
It's like all of her anger on display. Yeah. Yeah. It's also not a long book, as Orsa says. Also, Lathe of Heaven. It's not. Most of her books aren't that long. I mean,
I have to check if I have Lathe of Heaven. I probably do.
Yeah, I bought it and got a, as usual, really ugly Sci-Fi Masterworks cover.
Hey, I like the Sci-Fi Masterworks copies.
I have to ask a question.
They're
Pete,
so
has there
bad.
been some kind of avalanche in the Tetris, or is that just an artistic?
So it has been a general, like, I haven't been able to, so it's a bunch of different things. So some of it, so these are just books that I've recently gotten and I just haven't put them away, quote unquote, / I might not have room for them.
Right.
I also have not been motivated to put them away because there's a possibility I could be moving in the next month or so. So
Everybody's doing that. Kathy, Nerdy Kathy, is selling her place.
Nice.
And buying a new place with more space.
Yeah.
Carlos and Yolanda, StoryTube, are buying a house.
Yeah.
Apparently struggling a little bit at the moment. I was talking to Carlos yesterday. We had the Malazan chat on Kathy's channel. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be moving. I'll make you feel better, Pete. I'll give you a rare behind the scenes look.
Oh no, cabinets
of my office. No, that's not what'll make you feel better. See that
Have
table?
you still not built those shelves, Matt?
See that table over there? It's like completely full, almost the whole table of books and board games I have nowhere to put.
But you do have a set of shelves that you haven't built.
I got a better idea.
than building the shelves that you already have.
I'm not ADHD. I got a better idea. Because I was thinking,
How
can you
have shelves and not have built them already?
It's a very short-term solution. Because I actually went through and looked at all of the books there and looked at all of the books everywhere and thought, okay, I build this one more shelf that I have in flat pack in my bedroom and I put stuff in it. What's the result? Everything there
Is now in your room.
There and over there doesn't actually fit.
Yep.
Right? So all I would do by building a new shelf is completely fill a shelf and still have stacks of shit. So I rethought the general idea, and I thought if I replace 2 shelves in my living room, which go around a corner, I replace them with Ivar, the oldest IKEA shelves, the pine wood ones, and they have a system for it. And the thing is, I have 3.5 meter ceilings.
Ooh.
Right? I live in an old flat. I have 3.5 meter ceilings, and Ivar is a cheap shelf that comes in like 2.80 meter height. The normal one's 1.80 meter, which is like the shelves I have, but they come in 2.80 meter. So, and they're a system, and they have a connecting. You can buy like 2 of them,
yeah,
and then a connecting corner.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I could build like 2.80 meter and about width. I think it's a total of like 6 meters, 6.5 meters of shelf, which would take all of the books in those 2 shelves that I removed and all of the books I would have put in the flat pack shelf, and maybe even still have some space after that because it's so much taller and wider.
I like this idea of putting books in the pantry. They're out of the sunlight. They're clearly all shelved in a way you can see them. I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, it depends on whether it's a...
Imagining a closet with books just stacked floor to ceiling.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, a pantry
So basically, my usual like setup that I have, it's a walk-in closet, and it's got all my books in it. So
Thornall lives in
I like
Europe.
people who think outside the box and go, actually, I have space somewhere else that still works for books.
Thornall lives in Europe, so when he says pantry, he probably means something much like what I have, which is basically a walk-in closet, but off the kitchen.
Yeah.
Perfect. And it doesn't get direct sunlight. There's no windows in there, so they're not going to
I've
get
got a
sun
window
damage.
in my pantry.
Okay,
Berlin's
fancy.
weird. Berlin's weird. No, it's Germans are really paranoid about getting air flow through places. So I think it might even be illegal to have a room like that and not have a window in it. You have to have the possibility of airflow.
Yes, that is what I pictured in terms of pantry.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan of use the space you've got, and there aren't actually any rules that say you have to store things in certain places.
My pantry is full of half of the stuff that otherwise I would have to find a place for in my kitchen.
Yeah. Well,
so I can't put books in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a lot of furniture because I'm right now, like since I've been out of my parents' house, I've been renting rooms out basically and accumulating a bunch of bedroom stuff. So like I have a bed, I have bookshelves and stuff, but I don't have like a couch or a table or stuff
I don't
like
have
that.
a couch.
Where the fuck do you live, Rogue? I thought you lived in Ireland. Do you have a yard with a shed? I live on the second floor of a 10-flat building. I do not have a yard or a shed.
You don't have a shed on top of the building?
No, we should. We should actually have a storage space in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even have that because my old landlord was a crazy old lady.
Oh.
So yeah, I have very little storage space.
I store stuff in weird places. I literally just screwed a basket to the underneath of my desk so that I can put my markers in there because I'm tired of getting up and going to the shelves when I want my markers to do my job.
That's called an ingenious solution.
Yes.
I have a lot of storage under my desk because I think no one sees the bottom of the desk. Who cares if I put screws in there? So there's a bit of curtain wire under there with S hooks for my scissors and rulers and things. So
that is
they're all under my
smart.
desk, so they're not taking up room everywhere else.
Probably my biggest problem actually is that I'm a designer and I've always wanted a flat like this where I had, for Berlin or Germany anyway, a lot of space. I'm one person and I have 90 square meters, which is a lot of space for a flat in Berlin. And I like feeling like it's open, like it's not crowded and packed full of junk and whatever. So I try and keep the whole thing very minimal. And if I was more willing to pack it full of junk, I could probably have more bookshelves. But
the trick isn't to have more junk; it's to hide the stuff you have that isn't books.
Yeah. One of the things I want to do is I want to build, or I want to get like some sort of like, bed that isn't like that's higher up the normal beds that I can like put a lot of stuff under the bed and store it under the bed.
Right.
You can buy bed risers that are really cheap.
Yeah.
And they're really good. Also, there's nothing to say you can't put shelves as the sides of your bed. Because
That's what I've been thinking about is doing something along those lines.
Yeah.
I did do that for a while. I did have to have a step stool to actually get into my bed because it was too high to just get on. But it was great. And
I have a friend in Denmark who has what was that? I have a friend in Denmark who has a bed that can actually be raised and lowered.
Oh, that's cool.
With some ingenious engineering stuff that isn't that obvious. It's not just like ropes hanging from the ceiling or whatever. And when they get out of it, they put it on the ceiling.
Yes, I've seen those on the.
And it's like the room is basically empty.
Yeah.
Or it has shelves and stuff. And then in the evening, they just pull it down.
Yeah, because you only use your bed at night.
It's like a Murphy bed.
Yeah, it just goes straight up. It doesn't fold up against the wall. So it doesn't take any wall space at all. It just goes straight up against the ceiling, down to the floor, up against the ceiling. It's crazy.
I've seen them. I think they're great.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. A bunk bed with no bottom bunk. Although those to me always feel like the room feels crowded because you've still got a thing at sort of head height hovering in the middle of the room.
Although with 3 meter ceilings, you should
to,
be able to get away with a pretty.
I'm not doing any weird stuff with my bed. I've got another friend also in Denmark. They've got one tiny room. And when you open the door, I went to stay with them and they're like, behind that door, that's your room. And when you open the door, the bed is right there.
Right.
But it's like at sort of stomach height with a lot of storage space underneath. But the bed is basically a mattress that they custom built that fills the entire room. And the room's like tiny, you know, and it feels so cozy. And they put in like strip lighting along the sides of it. And there's like a little wooden frame around it where you can put things. And it was just super, super cozy. It felt like a little cave to sleep in. It was really nice. But yeah, you need a very specific kind of room for that. And they just had this room and they were like, what are we going to do with this room? It's not really big enough for there. Yeah, exactly. Make it a bedroom.
We would possibly make that into a library.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
And not worry then about storing anything because the rest of the house just has everything you would normally have in it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That is true also. But what you do when you do a bed like that is you build the frame yourself and you bolt it to your wall.
That's right.
You don't build a freestanding bed. That's
part of it too is you have to know yourself.
Yeah.
Like, can you be organized and put things away?
Or can you, with your bad knees, climb into a bed that is 2 meters off the ground?
True. That's right.
And not hate going to bed?
That's right.
No, I can't. I can't.
Honestly, it's a lot of the reason I've found some of my more creative storage solutions. It's like, yeah, I could put that thing away there, but then that's an absolute pain in my bum to get it every time I need it.
Yep.
And I need that. I'm short. I have bad knees.
That's one of the annoying things about my windows.
Low enough.
I've got old German windows, so they open like doors.
Yeah.
And I've got big ones at the bottom and small ones at the top. Mm-hmm. And that was fine for a long time. And then I got a cat. So now the only windows I ever open are the ones at the top, which means I always need to get a little ladder.
Yeah.
Which means if I open my windows, they stay open for 3 months. Like I'm not shutting them until it gets cold. And then once it gets cold, I'm not opening them until late next spring, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had to find ways to store stuff and not have it all look really messy.
Yeah. 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 I was really it's going to be a lot of just going to estate sales looking for furniture.
Yeah. I was really proud of myself when I moved in here and I had some money and I had a built-in shelf built.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like all my old videos, my review videos, that shelf behind me goes all the way to my 3.5 meter ceiling and it's 2 meters wide. And it's just like a ton of space for books and at the bottom board games. So, but it's still not enough.
Nope.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. I mean, we are who we are. And the more shelves we have, the more likely we are to forgive ourselves buying more books.
It's true.
And then get ourselves into the same situation of having too many books and not enough.
Because the problem isn't the books. The problem is the shelves.
Yeah.
There's just never enough shelves.
Yeah. Somehow. I don't know how it happens, but there's always never enough shelves.
Yeah.
I have no idea what carrot is, Anita.
Use carrot. I don't know what carrot is either. It must be some Canadian thing.
Site.
Or Indian thing. Who knows?
It's a local it's a marketplace thing.
Yeah.
So think of it like Facebook Marketplace, but a specific app.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
Here we've got eBay classifieds.
We have Trade Me.
Yeah. Well, listen, it is almost 11 in the evening here.
Oh my.
And I'm getting tired.
What?
9 o'clock in the morning here, and it's pissing down with rain.
Yeah.
I
think I'm going to call it and throw everybody out of the pub.
Ah, closing time.
You don't have to go home, but you can't
stay
here.
here. Exactly. Thank you, everybody on screen or who was earlier on screen, like Joanna. Thank you, everybody in the chat. And Sam, of course. It has been a pleasure to see all your faces and read all your comments. I say it every time, but this is one of the highlights of my week. I hope it's one of the highlights of your week. I always look forward to seeing all of you and chatting at you and with you. Please have a wonderful week. Please read awesome shit this week. And I will see you next Sunday.
Yep.
Sounds good.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.